Hey you guys, it's in the stars, and we just identified for the first time in history that the Georgia Guidestones line up at exactly 322 degrees on the compass. Now, I promised a follow-up video, and this is it. These lines of death that I have lined up based on all the information to this point are forming a giant pentagram across the United States. These here are the Georgia Guidestones, and this is the 322 degree line. Now the opposite of 322 on the compass is 142. So you can also extrapolate the line back around the other side of the planet. And what I found was simply shocking. I went to Wikipedia and I searched the most destructive and forceful earthquakes of all time, and I mapped them out. Now there are some in South America that did not fit on this line, but 3/4 of these points fit on the 322 line. Now, before we get into that, for clarification's sake, I'm going to identify all these lines. This line here is the line that's formed when you run a straight line through Washington, D.C., the Capitol, and the Washington National Monument. It forms a line. This is that line. This line here is formed from Kazakhstan, and there is a line in the capital of Astana that is extrapolated down and connects with Teotihuacan, the temple, or the pyramid of the sun. This line is the 188th ley line that goes through all the major cities of the eastern seaboard. Now all of these yellow pins are disasters of mass death and destruction and terrorism, and we've covered the 188th ley line in depth. Now, the Georgia Guidestones fall on the 188th ley line. These are within a proximity of at least somewhere between 20 to 40 to 60 miles. So these are very close. Now, we are missing a line here to finish the pentagram. And this is my challenge to you. I can't do it all. You guys, I appreciate all of the work that you've done and the suggestions that you send me, but I become overwhelmed and I just don't have the time to put all this together. I need other eyes on this, opening up Google Map and Google Earth and figuring this out and helping me so that we can get to the bottom of this. Obviously, there is something very sinister and evil going on, and we are not privy to it, and we are finding it out now. But we are missing a line to the pentagram. If someone could extrapolate that line out, or find some monuments, something that will point us to this, where this line falls, that will be invaluable. That will help us in our search. For the time being, though, I see points here of destruction, but I don't want to just draw a line arbitrarily. I want to connect it to, like for instance with the 188th ley line, we have the Georgia Guidestones. We also have this line connects to Damascus, Stonehenge, and the Pyramid of the Sun. That is a definite ley line. There is alignments there. It's obvious to draw that line there. The line from Astana had a line going through the capital, and it directly connected, it pointed directly at the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan. So that was a definite line. Obviously the alignment in Washington, D.C. is a definite line. But this line, I cannot figure out anything. I may just start drawing arbitrary lines and see if they connect up with things, but we need a monument. We need a landmark. Okay, let's get into this. Without further ado, this line. Now remember, these are the top 10 or 15 earthquakes of all history that have been recorded. And I just plotted them out. Many are in Alaska. There are at least 5 or 6 in Alaska, in northern Russia. And I'm not going to name all these. There's one there. Of course, the islands here, all within a couple 100 miles. They're not as close as the other push pins back in the United States. To there. These are the Aleutian Islands, I believe. That's Russia, so you can get your bearings. This is Japan. This is Fukushima, that caused the tsunami and the meltdown at the reactor, that earthquake. Okay? Now, as you saw, these lines have been extrapolated all over planet Earth here. I've done this for you so that we can see these patterns. So I looked at other death and destruction along these ley lines. And this is just fascinating. Here we have Sumatra. Okay? We have this line was extrapolated. I think this is the Russian line from Kazakhstan. Okay? 2 major earthquakes, historical earthquakes and tsunamis that happened along Indonesia there. You can see, you can kind of get your bearings here. You can see how these things are just lining up. I'm not lining them up. They fall on these ley lines. Okay? So that's about all I have for this video, you guys. As always, I will continue to examine these things. It's interesting to see what that is. I'll do that in another video. That's an island of some sort near Antarctica, and I'll look into that and see where that is. That's probably has some major significance. Anyways, you guys, as always, take care and be safe. I think we're getting close to unlocking the truth and the secrets that they're holding from us.